Good morning, market snappers. Welcome back. This is Jesse, getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. And we'll get ready to rock and roll on this wacky Wednesday morning. I don't know if it's that wacky or not. Nothing new on the home front. Business as usual. So we'll get into it. First half of the live stream. There we go. First half of the live stream, we will cover the charts on my watch list. Obviously, not all of them. It started off as a sniper top 40, and then we've just been collecting and collecting. There was like hundreds, and then I condensed it down to like the sniper top 40 in like 2022, and then this just kind of crept back up and continues to grow again. So probably one of these days I'll trim it up again. But for now, we'll leave it as a sniper top 40-ish, more like a sniper top 150. Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, we'll cover it. And then on the second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. Just make sure to put in the ticker symbol. Make sure to put in the name of it, because some trading bot's going off my other account. Make sure to put in the name of it and then the asset class as well, because some of the ticker symbols overlap, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time trying to search for something that could be wrong, right? It might not even be the asset that you want me to chart. And if there's not a lot of chart history, like a meme coin or something brand new, there's probably not too much value I can add. So, I don't know if you want me to look at those when there's not a lot of chart history. I might search for it, see there's only been like 30 days, and then move on. So with all that, let's get rock and rolling. This is Bitcoin daily chart. Just a quick recap. It was a nice pivot point from April 11th. There was bullish divergence as called out, bullish divergence here, additional bullish divergence here. And then on this buy signal, I had posted that bullish divergence plus buy signal, laid out the targets to the upside. All those were crushed. Flipped the fourth target from resistance into support. Went on to make new all-time highs. Fast forward, we have bearish divergence at the top, followed by a sell signal, followed by a lower high, confirmed with a lower low. And now we're looking at possible another lower high, whether Monday or next Monday or whatever. Could be another lower high, and then we'll see about another lower low after that. So that's the daily chart. The weekly chart is also bearish. There is a weekly sell signal on Sunday, and closed on Sunday. And here we are. Price came all the way back up, basically retested the trending dots, basically. And you could change the settings on the trending dots to make it look like it actually hit it, but I don't need to do that. So anyways, what? Weekly sell signal as well. Long-term bearish divergence getting, even the indicator is picking it up. Longer-term bearish divergence. MACD bearish crossover. The histogram is bearish. What does a 2-week chart look like? Long-term bearish divergence is getting picked up from the indicator, right? Long-term bearish divergence is getting picked up from the indicator. If we get a 2-week close below the trending dots, the probabilities will continue to increase that we're going much lower, right? So, but Jesse, the 2-week candle closed below the trending dots here and then reversed back around. Yes, but look at the RSI levels at that time. When the 2-week chart was closing down below here, it was still up in this, RSI was, look at the band, right? The band was still up in the 60s. And then it was candle closed here, and the band was still in the 60s. Well, if it starts to close down below the training dots again, the band will be down in the 50s or possibly lower, right? So this time would be different compared to this time where the band was much higher on the sell signal, up in the 70s actually, and this was up in the 60s. And then if we get another sell signal, the band would be up in the 50s, right? So from 70s to 60s to 50s, eventually price catches up to the indicator, right? So bearish, long-term bearish divergence even on the 2-week chart. MACD had a bearish crossover on the 2-week chart. Do I need more light from the outside? Probably. Woo! Is everyone sleeping? I don't even see. Oh, I see one comment. You got it. Thank you for putting the ticker symbol, writing it out. I know. Also, if you want a certain exchange like Binance or whatever, just always put in all the details over there. But you got it. You got it. You got it. I'll circle back to that. We'll do it on the second half of the live stream. But there's even bearish divergence on the MACD. You can see a peak. You can see a lower peak. You can see a peak and see a higher peak on price. So bearish divergence, MACD bearish crossover on the 2-week chart as well. So the probabilities continue to stack that we are not going to see $150,000 Bitcoin. We did see $126,000 Bitcoin. But the probabilities are increasing that we will not see 150 in the near future, right? So we'll see what happens, though. There's always a small chance that it could just reverse right back around. But I think the probabilities, since back here, the probabilities continue to increase. And, well, it went on to make a new all-time high. Great. Yeah, that was at $110,000. So, yes, correct. It did go on to make a new all-time high, 15% higher. But if you look back at it, the price is the same price as it was December 17th, 2024, right? So in the last, call it 10 months, price is the same. So it's not performing that normal 20 to 30% year over year. Well, it's all averaged in, but 20 to 30%. So that has continued to decrease on Bitcoin over time, lesser to the upside, lesser to the downside. And we'll see if we're going to be heading into the bear market. Noah, what's up? Long time ex-market sniper. One of the originals, early 2022. One of the Magnificent Seven that I only did live coaching for 7 people. And Noah was one of them. So I called them the Magnificent Seven. We did live coaching for like 2 months. I recorded all those. All of those live recording videos are still in the Discord, still on the website as of right now. But once we go live with the full automation, just working out some bugs here and there, just want it to be perfect. The website is pretty much done. Making a couple tweaks here or there. So we're getting pretty close. I just don't want to fully ramp up everything and then have to backtrack and fix things, right? Because once you let the toothpaste out of the toothpaste bottle, it's hard. You can't put it back in, right? So just working out some kinks and on just make sure that the 2 bots, testing those. I've got more that I'm going to be releasing. So at first, if you want the 2 trading bots, then that's just a start. The price will never increase on you. You'll be locked in. You're going to be rewarded for a low price upfront. It's going to feel like too good to be true, right? And for lesser services out there, it's going to be half the price. And if you lock in early, because I'm not going to keep it at the same price forever, right? The more bots I release, the higher the price will be on the website. The more tools I roll out, I have a whole list of things that I'm just going to start knocking out. So as things develop over the next 3, 6, 9 months with automation, with trading tools, all that stuff. Mic is on, yep. All that stuff. You'd still be locked in at that lower price, grandfathered in. But the prices on the website will continue to increase as the more tools I roll out. So early people will always be rewarded. Noah was one of the early ones, and he was one of the only ones one of 7 live coaching people. And then after 2 months, I was just like, well, either I'm going to have to charge, what was it, $199 a month for 2 months, live coaching. And we did 8 sessions in a month. And I went hard, 1 to 3 hours per session. So my time value was not there. So I said, I either have to charge thousands of dollars to you guys, or I'm just going to make it free and decease the live coaching. And that's what I did. I didn't want to charge them thousands of dollars because they actually became, in my opinion, in my eyes, they became my friends. So I didn't want to charge them thousands of dollars. So for my own time value, right? I have to, it was no longer fair to my time for that amount. So I didn't want to make it unfair to people that actually, care about their time and money too. So with that, sure, we can check out gold. Yep, we'll circle back to it. So this is Bitcoin daily, the weekly, right? It just takes time to play out as the higher time frames become more and more bearish. Then you'll see the bigger drops, right? Right? That would be a bearish engulfing 2-week candle, right? Similar to this one over here. So turn that one back on. And what else? We got this chart still watching it. Remember, we were talking about here on the 11th. I posted a chart. Will we see a bounce here? It did. It did bounce there. And it went up to here, similar to here, right? Then on Friday, we said, will it bounce here, right? Very similar to here. And it has. It has bounced to 111. Very similar to here. So are we going to see another bounce, maybe higher or lower than here? Could be lower. I just drew this out back on, I haven't touched it, but I drew that out on October 8th, right? So what is that? 14 days now. Yeah, all the Bitcoin miners are dropping. Hot. We can take a look at it. We'll circle back on that. So I drew this out. Of course, it's not exact. It's not perfect. I never intended it to be exact or perfect. It was just an overall idea. But I drew this out on when Bitcoin was 123,400. And since then, it continues to fall overall. And now we'll find out if it's going to have like a double bounce here, higher or lower. Maybe it only makes it back to like 110. We don't know. And then that next drop should be significant. But obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only. And hopefully we have some fun along the way, even if that's making fun of me for not having my mic on for 20 minutes. Oof. This week, we had Mike was not on for 3 minutes. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Today, we're good to go. What else? So still watching this chart. Will it continue to play out like this? I mean, these squiggly lines up here did not happen, right? It just dropped straight down. The bounce did happen, then came back down, made a lower low. Then the bounce happened again, this first bounce here. And we'll find out if there's going to be a second bounce, maybe not. Maybe it's just the one bounce. And then we'll see, take out this close below that. What was it? Close below this pivot point at 106. That puts in another lower low. That would be another lower high. But again, it might take a few days to a week to play out. We don't know. Don't have a magic crystal ball. And then if price dropped all the way down to here, right? Target 4 would be hit. This pivot point would be hit. And there's another one that, the small head and shoulders would be hit, right? Or it's not that small. But if we go back over here, I have a small head and shoulders on, smaller head and shoulders on one of these. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. Let's get back on the daily chart. So I drew this out based off of the original 2 hour, right? 2 hours. So that another reason why it could take you down to target 4, which is like $93,000 to $95,000 range area, somewhere around there. There's multiple reasons why price could go down there. Drew this out that it could come all the way up here, come back down, maybe it bounces again, and then drops down. Well, it wicked all the way up there to 114 and then closed back below there again. So this is looking like a back test. Maybe it back tests again. So maybe it's, let's move this over, because that already happened, right? So now it's like, all right, well, it came up, came back down, closed. Maybe it gets that second, maybe another wick, but closes back below again, and then starts its descent, right? Because that would look similar to here, right? That kind of makes sense. So it's possible. I don't want to mark this chart up too much, but that's what it was kind of looking like, right? So it's back below that. So maybe one fake out to regain the trend line, maybe 2 fake outs to regain the trend line. Whatever the case may be, it's heading in the opposite direction of $150,000. Could it go there tomorrow? Sure, but then I'd have to delete all of your accounts. Right? So $108,400 Bitcoin since December 17th, 2024. Oof. Back below this head and shoulders neckline, right? Back below it. Head and shoulders target was laid out before it broke down. It was laid out at least a week ago. Price was about right here. If I drop down to a lower time frame, I could tell you more closely when it was. It was about here. Yeah, so probably around the 13th. This was drawn out on the 13th, and it continues to follow that, right? Continues. Boom, boom. I don't know what that is. You'd have to give me more details on that if we have time. Oh, yeah, I mean, we always cover ETH anyway, so. But yeah, so that's the daily chart. That's what we're still continuing to watch, however it plays out, right? Several reasons why, at least 4 or 5 major reasons why we could see price back between $93,000 and $94,000. And what I've been talking about is as these higher time frames start to roll over, and at the same time, price on the daily chart is closing below target 4. Let's see if I can pull up a target one. There we go. So you're in target 3, target 4, let's say 93 to 95,000 ish. You start closing below that, and the higher time frames are rolling over because they're slow. it's slow to move, right? Then trading bot. Then the probability is continuing to increase. We're going to see much lower prices, probably below $75,000, all the way down to this area. And then inevitably, if we're in a bear market, right, over the next 12 months, I would be very surprised if we did not hit the 200-week moving average. And in the past, we've seen Bitcoin go 20, 30, 40% below the 200-week moving average. So it's possible we see it all the way down to $40,000. And the one caveat to that is that if we were in a bigger, deeper stock market correction, then I would say Bitcoin could go even lower than that. So, but if we're not in one, then retesting the 200-week moving average seems like it would be a safe bet, and even wick below it seems like a safe bet. Maybe even wick or close down, to that $45,000 range. Why? There's a lot of leverage down there. There are billions and billions, I think like $10 billion worth of low leverage longs that I saw, all the way down to like $50,000, $45,000, like $10 billion. So they can make a lot of money. The market bosses, can make a lot of money by price coming all the way back down there. So we'll see what happens. All eyes on Michael Saylor, right? All eyes on him. And speaking of, we will take a look at MicroStrategy, as we always do, as the canary in the coal mine, down 5% today. So now we spend a lot of time on Bitcoin. Let's get rocking and rolling. We won't spend as much time on the altcoins probably. Ethereum, bearish on the daily chart. This was also a head and shoulders. Hit the target already and came back up, retested the trailing dots. The probabilities are increasing. We're going to at least retest target 3, probably hit target 4, and then we'll see if it comes back down to the 200-week moving average. We're going to look at some more altcoins, still back below here. Has not hit this target over here. XRP, similar thoughts. Seems like a bear market for XRP. Had the weekly sell signal, had the weekly bearish divergence, the weekly lower high. Got the magnet over here. So we'll see what happens. 2-week chart, XRP, bearish divergence, long-term bearish divergence, well below the trending dots on the 2-week chart. Expect massive bounces along the way. This was a massive bounce after the liquidation event. Massive bounce, right? And confidence went away. And so I didn't think we are going to go back to new all-time highs based off of that huge $19 billion liquidation event. There was profit taking on those shorts. So huge bounce because of that. And some late shorts probably got wiped out, all in the mix. And the saga continues on high leverage traders getting wiped out. But it doesn't bring a ton of confidence to the space. We've been in a bull run, in my opinion, since 16,800. And then there was a weekly buy signal at like 18,000. I was buying based off the daily chart. To me, that's when the bull run started. And that was January 2023. Here we are, October 2025. It's not the start of the bull run. The start of the bull run was at 16,800. No matter what the talking heads or the influencers say or hope for to get clicks, whatever the case may be, that's not the start of the bull run, in my opinion. The start of the bull run was when it started to flip bullish. There was bullish divergence at the end of 2022. November, December, I was calling out bullish divergence. Bullish divergence, calling it out all over in the Discord. And then there was a buy signal breaking out of a wedge, right? A wedge pattern. And I took my first 5x leverage long on Bitcoin. In the previous cycle, I was doing 10x leverage. Then I started off with the 5x leverage, and now I'm mostly doing spot unless I'm going to short it. And if I'm shorting it, most likely I'm shorting ETH because I shorted ETH in the 2022 bear market as well with 10x leverage. But so just because it drops more percentage wise than Bitcoin, so that's why. But with that, XRP weekly chart bearish, right? 2-week chart flipping bearish divergence. Daily chart bearish, back in the trading dots. And was the bottom in? Could have been, but it seemed during that liquidation event, it was just profit taking and let all the moving averages catch up, let all the trending dots catch up, all that stuff, and then see if, we start to see retail continue to capitulate, right? So XCN, Chainlink, right? Chainlink, Near, they're all bearish still. Cardano, Ondo, HBAR, they all look the same. XLM, we'll leave that there. XLM, target 4. Solana looks similar. Drew this out, right? The handy dandy TA scribble. Bitcoin futures has only hit 2 out of 4 targets so far. So again, I don't think the market bosses are going to not want the charts lined up, whether it's the ETFs, the Bitcoin futures, or Bitcoin exchanges. They're going to want price to all be lined up. So hitting target 3 on Bitcoin futures it would be very odd, in my opinion, if it did not. That would be a very big discrepancy across exchanges, right? So that's what we're looking at. Bitcoin futures has not hit target 3, but Bitcoin exchanges have hit target 3. So I'd be very surprised if we don't. And then, of course, target 4 is down here with a small gap. Another reason why it's a very, very small gap, but another reason why for target 4, right? Ethereum, similar thoughts. Price came all the way down here. Ethereum futures has not yet. So it'd be very odd if they don't line everything up, right? Very odd. I would expect it. Fetch continues to be in a bear market. Let me get back on the crosshairs. Peaked March 2024, crushed it to $3.40 based off the AI narrative, and then gone, right? And then gone. So from there, all the way to the bottom wick, almost 97%. What else? Dying. Gold futures. There's a weekly chart. Here's the daily chart. This is just the eyeball test of a retracement target. All higher time frames are still ultra bullish. So I'm not calling the top. Could be a bounce to where it creates bearish divergence. Maybe not. So it's possible it does something like this. Right? It's possible. And if there's bearish divergence, and maybe not, right? But when the higher time frames are still ultra bullish, could see new all-time highs still, right? So If it's not, like if it was a topping pattern, maybe it looks like this. If it's not a topping pattern, maybe it comes back down like this and then just goes straight to new all-time highs like that, right? So not calling the top on Bitcoin on gold right now, because of all the other time frames are still ultra bullish. Let's see, right? Let's go back here. Let's go like that, right? So this is what I mean. Still ultra bullish. It's possible it comes back, lets the trailing dots catch up, and then makes one more run. 2-week chart, still ultra bullish, but pretty far extended away from the trailing dots. So shorter term correction, but doesn't mean the top is in. Monthly chart is still ultra bullish, really far extended away from the trailing dots. So maybe it's a sideways consolidation, let the trailing dots catch up. Maybe this is the top. We don't know. Too early to call it. There's no long-term bullish divergence, bearish divergence to call it. There's no long-term bearish divergence to call it. But shorter term, there was an RSI sell signal, probably a MACD bearish crossover. So correction of this 30% seems like it, but long term, I don't see any bearish divergence. Doesn't mean there will be, but if there is no bearish divergence, then it'll be harder to call a top. But local top with as it's correcting right now on gold. Same is true on silver. They run pretty much identical. Nasdaq. So we're gonna flip over to the Nasdaq. DXY still bullish on the daily chart. VIX pumping again. Could be a higher low situation over here. Let's flip over to the Magnificent 7. That's grown into the Magnificent 80. Netflix. Woo-wee. Netflix. Pumped hard. Made new all-time highs back June 2025. And that could be the top, right? So gap down another 10%. Currently down 16% from the top. Let's see the weekly chart. Pending sell signal on the weekly chart. If this thing goes, it could crash hard and fast. Look at it from back here on November 2021. It crashed hard in a relative short period of time. 76% in 25 weeks, right? So once it had that weekly sell signal, it really dropped fast. This is almost like deja vu. It was like weekly sell signal, then 2 weeks bullish, and then a big weekly sell signal. That's almost identical. If you look at that, right? See if you can see it. Sell signal, sell signal. Buy signal under the trailing dots for 2 weeks. Buy signal for 2 weeks, right around the trailing dots. Big sell signal on the weekly chart. And then price came back to the 200-week moving average. Price came well below the 200-week moving average. Big sell signal. So I'm going to put on the magnet right here, but could be massive. It looks very similar to 2022, especially the last 4 weeks. Still in the bear market, SMCI since March 2024. PLTR, Palantir. Let's get back on the daily chart. Sell signal pending on the daily chart again. Double top, triple top, breaking down. TQQ could be putting in a lower high. Someone asked for NVO, still bearish from yesterday. Tesla could be a lower high in Tesla. Let's see what I have on here. Got the gap. So this worked out to the upside. Now we're going to see possible to the downside. Right? Apple could be bull trap. My mom still got out over here at 256, 32 minutes before the close. Came back down. I was looking like a hero in my own opinion. And then it pumped all the way back up to 265. And now it's back to the same area within $2. So could be a bull trap. We don't know. But my mom's still out of Apple. Russell 2000, pending sell signal. This bot is on fire right now. It's so hard for me not to look every time the bot triggers. What are we at? 936? All right. Let's see. I covered gold, covered Solana, still making it through. NASDAQ. Yep. We'll take a look at it, but probably looks the same as the Russell 2000. Yep. Cool. HUT. All right, we'll take a look. ETH covered it. Maybe. Russell 2000 pending sell signal on the daily chart. Amazon, UNH, NVIDIA. Still a lot of reasons why price could go lower. NASDAQ could be that lower high, right? Could be that lower high on the NASDAQ. Breakdown, back test, resumption down lower, right? What else? What the heck is that? Meta. 13% gap down by the 200-week moving average. SP 500 could be that lower high, right? Never made another new all-time high. Targets are still valid, in my opinion. ANF continues to be bearish. Dow Jones, Google, dollar. That's about it on the Magnificent 80. What else? HUT. Here's Hive, pending sell signal after hitting the target. Talked about it, covered it. Bitfarm. I said when these go, if you're not taking some profit off the table, then they pump hard and they crash hard. So you give back gains very quickly, right? You can give back unrealized gains very quickly, 43%. That's why with my mom, had her take some off the table on target 3, and then had her close out her position on target 4. Hindsight, that looks like a genius move. At the time, I was like, what if it goes to the moon? There's always doubt, right? There's always doubt because fear of missing out. But you just have to stay calm, stay neutral, stick to the original plan, and no news from my mom is good news. So she doesn't look right, but Marathon Digital pending sell, CLSK, Litecoin just getting crushed, Veritone, TLT still trying to remain on this path. HUT, yeah, pending sell signal. Hit 4 out of 4 longer term targets. That was it. Pending sell signal after hitting the 4 target, even spiking through it, is now giving back 34%. Could it put in some sort of head and shoulders like Bitcoin? Possible. So let's see, how would that even look? I don't know. It's a hypothetical situation anyways, but just say if it was like something like that, bounce, maybe bounce even like that, and then, but Boom. That would come in like that. We just speculate all the way back to the 200. Ooh, that'd be crazy. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. We're just freestyling it right now, but yeah. Maybe, baby. Maybe that was it. And maybe it just gets there today. I don't know. Oh boy. Yep. Four targets were hit. MIGI gone. HODL. Let's see, what is it about? Right there. And it's already back down below 30. Yeah. So, yep. What else? Coin looks like a lower high over here. That was the high at 442 on July 2025. Came all the way down, rallied all the way up for the back test, got rejected, and now it's dropping. Right now it's dropping. Weekly chart is probably bearish. That was the last line, right? That was it. I don't have any more lines to draw. Oh yeah. Yep. And then the weekly chart on coin. No pending sell signal on the weekly chart yet, but probably in the very near future. Probably see a pending one. Maybe this week. What else? QQQ. So let's see, 42.25. I mean, it could back test the trailing dots because the trailing dots hasn't even, right? So the trailing dots are up here. It'd probably take a few days for the trailing dots to roll over. So maybe it goes lower, comes back. Like if it's not going to make a new all-time high, right? Then it would look like that. But it's possible. We already drew it out, but yeah, it could. Never guarantee though. Wolf. Pending sell signal. No surprise there. Let's see. This is a gap at $5.73. Terra Wolf. Carvana. That's falling off a cliff. Pending sell signal on the weekly chart. Probably going to look like Netflix soon. What else? I think that's about it. We're about 44 minutes. Did I miss anything else? Maybe. It looks like a lower high, right? So I do have a futures short on ES. I do have a short on TQQ still open. I still have a short on PLTR still open. As far as like that's concerned. So yeah. I mean, not all in, but yeah. For futures. And TQQ is a 3x bull ETF and with a put option on it. So definitely not going in on that one. But if that one drops, you can see it. And that one's good till November, something like November 7th, I think. So we'll see. Not expecting to flip that into a 10x or anything, but you know, if it ends up like a 2 or 3x, then it's always a good day. Good week, good month, whatever. What else? I think that's about it. Let's see, Bitcoin daily chart. Right, that's same view. Same view. So with that, I think we're gonna call it here. Thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you, and thank you for smashing the like button. Thank you for hitting the repost button, sharing this with your family and friends, and hopefully, well, thanks for all the comments, but throwing an emoji, whatever. And with that, hope you have a good rest of your day, and we will see you on the next live stream. And adios.